Hello and welcome all to the second day of APAC Higher Edtech Innovation Conclave. Now it's time for a very interesting and insightful presentation by YASH Technologies on the topic enable universities to run smarter. This will be presented by Aatish Shukla. He is with us now. He is a practice head, higher education and research at YASH Technologies. Thank you so much, Aatish, for joining us today. We look forward for the interesting presentation from your side. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Gopi. Let me first share my screen and then uh, I'll start with my introduction. Gopi, let me know once my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, a very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aatish Shukla, and I head a practice called as Industry Specific Higher Education and Research at YASH Technologies. YASH Technologies is a multi-million dollar organization with um a global presence of more than 40 countries. We have been in this industry for almost 25 years now, and higher education and research is one of our very specialized niche area that we have been working on. And I come with industry experience of almost 12 years, and I have been working with universities, colleges, higher education establishments in my experience, and I am helping them to enable digital transformation. And our solutions have been focused on providing this next generation landscape to the customers, right from admission to graduation and beyond. And it's not about only academics. SAP takes care of the finance and the material management, the procurement, the other side of the industry vertical also. So I'll not be spending too much time on the introduction, and I'll jump to this short video that I'll be playing that will give a glimpse of what we have been doing in this niche vertical.
I'm Professor Shailesh Gadi from IIM Ahmedabad. We place on record our sincere appreciation of the professional and integrative approach demonstrated by the entire YASH team.
I want to send my warmest wishes to YASH Technologies and to the Partner Summit in general and our community, not only for a successful summit, but for a successful year.
YASH Technologies is one of those partners providing an extensive HER practice, and I'm very excited about it.
So yeah, a bit of a glimpse of what we have been doing in this higher education and research vertical. And I'll take a pause here and say that yes, we have been working with customers like Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad, and that had been a landmark customer for us. We have enabled digital transformation for them, but then we have been also working with large university setups, large education trust, private colleges, universities, and any higher education and research establishment that deals with student experience, student engagement, and the learning part of it. Now, what exactly are we offering? These are the three boxes of solution that I would like to focus on today. Uh, on the left hand side, you can see that these are industry specific higher education and research solutions that come out of the box. Now, if you take SAP today for the university setup, these are the primary modules that you get out of the box. And all these modules are with industry's best practices. As we look into how India is going ahead in the education vertical, if I look back around 10 years, we were all about fixed curriculum. Now we see a lot of initiatives being taken by the government, and we are slowly and gradually moving towards a liberal arts setup. Now many ERP developers and the products and the solution providers had to revamp their solutions to accommodate to this dire need of the industry. But then SAP comes with best practices of liberal arts, pseudo liberal arts, fixed curriculum, and a mixture of all the CBCS. All those industries best practices come by default. Now, if I have to talk about these four modules, the first module is about student lifecycle management. Anything that a student does from admission to graduation and beyond, even to the extent of an alumni, is managed here. Right before a student becomes a student of the university, it is covered in student lifecycle management and all the processes of registration, elective booking, learning management, assessment, evaluation, generating the reports out of the system. Everything is taken care by student lifecycle management. The second module is finance and procurement, and it takes care of all the university finance operations, all the material management, all the procurement process of the university. And these two modules are tightly integrated, so these are on a common platform. And then the third module is research project and grant management. There's a specific module focused on the research segment of the university, and all the research activities taken by the faculties, the students, and the research initiatives taken by the university along with the government can be managed and tracked over here along with the budget estimations. Now, this is also on a common platform, and all these modules are tightly integrated. And then comes the last module, which is SAP Total Workforce Management. Anything and everything that has to do with an employee of an organization, that is managed in this module. All these four modules are tightly integrated, and these are embedded among each other. And a student who is in student lifecycle management will be taught by a faculty who's an employee in total workforce management, and the tables and the chairs and the procurement would be done in this SAP finance and procurement. And then finally, the research activities would be done in this research project and grant management module. So all this combined together is called as SAP industry specific higher education and research. And then these are some of the add-ons. Now, in the pandemic, we saw a lot of attraction towards SAP online assessment. Now, this is a proctoring based tool, and we do online assessments. We can share question bank data. The faculties can create assessments. Students can appear for online examinations and so on. A full-fledged online assessment tool. And then we have electronic signature management, the DocuSign. In this pandemic, in the remote working, you don't have to physically sign a document. All the workflows and the digital signatures are taken care of over here. And then finally, we have a separate module for experience management. Now, this module takes care of what is going in student's mind when he or she is using university's applications, when he's filling an admission application form. What unconsciously and consciously is going through his mind? Can we improvise the experience? Can we take a feedback from the student when he's filling an admission application form? Those are the kind of activities that are taken care of in this module. And then finally, on the last, we have YASH offerings in the SAP platform. We have been working on this area for a long time now, and our capabilities have helped us build some of India-specific solutions to this ecosystem. Like, for example, we have an online learning management tool based on the Moodle that has been tightly integrated with student lifecycle management. And then we have done a lot of work in pre-admissions, designing rosters and merit list for admission process and so on. And then finally, some of very specific India specific solutions, that like hostel, transportation, placement, compliance reporting around NIRF and NAC. Those have also been developed by YASH. So if you combine these three, there's absolutely nothing that a university does and it is not covered in this module. Of course, if I hide this small tab over here, I can see the cloud analytics part as well. Now, analytics is a key area of SAP, and all the predictive and prescriptive analytics happen in this particular module. This is one of my favorite modules, and you can do a lot of analytics, data insight. Only yesterday I was attending a webinar where I said uh, higher education and research is a very data rich industry, but we don't know what to do with that data. We usually use this data only for operational efficiency or compliance reporting. We do not spend time in analyzing the data into predictive forms or KPIs. So this is also taken care by SAP Cloud Analytics. And these are the 6 benefits that I have seen in my experience of 12 years, what customers get out of SAP solutions. Predictive and embedded analytics, real-time student information support. How many students do I have? How many students are graduating? How many students will go for an internship? How many students will be placed? How many students have more than 3.5 CGPA? How many students are eligible for XYZ KPIs, and so on and so on. Everything is taken care by SAP solutions. And then student experience part. I spoke about the experience part, like how important it is, especially in the blended learning platforms where the student engagement is very important. And then the data driven decisions. Our only objective is to make organizations where the decisions are taken based on the data and not because of some perception or experience of an individual. And then enhanced user experience. Apart from student experience, we also need to take care of the faculties, the employees, the other stakeholders in the ecosystem. And then finally, the operational excellence. The amount of time taken by a university to file compliance reporting of NAC and NIRF can reduce up to 60 to 70%. And the amount of time we spent on workflows and communicating within the departments, that can also reduce drastically. And moving on, this is our offering for student lifecycle management, the core of a university operation, where everything starts from identification, recruitment, and selection, and ends when a student becomes a alumni. So this is a template that we offer to our Indian customers, and it covers everything that a university does from academic side in India operations. Like for example, the identification of students who want to join the university, and the pre-admission process, making sure that he has a right experience when the student becomes a student from an applicant, and then the admission process, the registration process, the LMS, the online teaching platform, and then CBCS, course outlines, specializations, then academics process like transportation, hostel, medical, advising. Now, advising is something that I have not seen in most of the ERP solutions that exist today in the market. But then SAP has this advising tool, which is very powerful. When a student is doing any activity in the system, faculty has an option to advise the student with the right feedback, so that student has all the information he needs when filling a particular form. And then we can do analytics around it, like how impactful was my advising to the student, and so on. And then finally, I have assessments, online assessments, proctoring base, and then the grading. The faculties can grade a student, and then we can generate a normalization bell curve. We can do automatic gradings, regrading, and so on, and generate reports out of the system. And then finally, advising again when the student has to progress or promote to a new session, and then the statutory compliance or the feedback, like the NIRF reportings, the NAC reporting, or other compliance reporting. These will come out of SAP, and you just have to submit to the compliance authority. And then the degree audit: is my student ready to be graduated, or are there any laggings or a reappear required for the student? And then finally, the career services placement. graduation, and then alumni. And it doesn't even stop here. After alumni, you can have an alumni engagement with the alumni, like a continuous connect with the alumni, giving them a portal where they can access the information, post jobs for the student. So this entire life cycle is called as student life cycle management in SAP, and this is one of the important module of SAP higher education and research. If I have to talk about customers, we have a lot of customers. I've taken two as an example over here: IMA and RVEI. It's a big trust in Bangalore with 30 plus colleges, 22,000 plus students, and so on. And we have been privileged to support RVEI and IMA in recent past with SAP Higher Education and Research Solutions. And this template is supporting liberal arts setup, pseudo liberal arts, and fixed curriculum, or any other combination which a university is running right now. And then this is about YASH University, in order to understand like how and what goes in the mind of a student when he's filling an admission application form or a graduation form or a placement form. We do a lot of simulations. We ask students to fill those admission applications form and the other forms, so that we can understand like how can we improvise the experience of a student by further improvising the applications. So this is what we do in YASH University, where we simulate a lot of programs to design next generation solutions. To summarize, this is what Yash has been doing with SAP solutions, like building intelligence at the core, where your operations run on the right side and your experience of the students, stakeholders, staff, researchers run on the left side. And we have intelligence at the core, where we can take predictive analytics and support of embedded analytics to take corrective decisions. So we have to aspire to become a process driven organization with data driven decisions, and this is what this intelligence at the core means. And if I have to just summarize like in three short words, like what exactly Yash has been doing in higher education and research space, so these are the three important words. Number one, the user experience part. Number two, the simplified process. And third is analytics. Now, the user experience part, because we all know that we are moving towards a digital campus. Cloud is the future, or rather, I should say, cloud is already prevalent now, and everything is moving towards a digital campus. I personally believe digital campuses is something that every university would move on, and the biggest challenge we will have is to keep student engaged on the online learning when he is not being proctored. And then the technology would play an important role, and applications like SAP would come into the picture and provide you a very strong SAP technology architecture, where you can run learning applications, simplified processes, and data analytics. These are some of the snapshots I've taken, like how does the SAP applications look like. And this is a typical student dashboard, and you can see we have a student degree requirement, my timetable, my attendance, change of a branch, my results, registration to a new semester, and so on and so on. It has almost 35 applications, if I'm not wrong, and it covers everything from admission to alumni, and it comes with best practices. And this is an admission application form. So we have 5 or 6 templates for admission application form. This is one template that I've taken as an example today, where the application form has been designed in a way that students should not be using too much of keyboard. I don't want a student to enter information. I want him to select the information so that he's engaged with the admission application form. So rather than asking him whether you are an international or Indian applicant, rather than asking him to enter the information, this application form works in this way: are you an Indian or international applicant? So he selects Indian, he moves to a new screen, and there are a lot of 7 or 8 questionnaires. After filling the questionnaire, the admission application form is generated. And then this is elective bidding, or the CBCS, where on the left hand side we have all the courses that a student has registered, and on the middle we have planned courses. On the right hand side we have advisors recommendation. So when a student is about to select a course from elective catalog, uh, advisors recommendations are always available to him, that hey, why don't you take CUM 4077 community and communication module, because I feel this module would add advantage to you in the sixth semester when you have to go for an internship, or this will add advantage to you when you appear for a placement on these XYZ organization. So advisors recommendations are here, but it's up to student to take the recommendations or move on. And he can select the planned courses from the catalog also, and based on the courses he has planned, he can register and move on. And later we can do analytics like how impactful was advising, comparing the students who took advising versus students who did not go for advising recommendations. This is timetable and attendance. These are how the tabs look like in laptops and desktops and in any mobile device. And this is analytics. This is around attendance analytics, like the number of classes held versus classes attended, and the final percentage of the student. And this is leave management. If a student wants to apply for a leave, this application tells that if you will apply for 4 days of leave, your attendance would come down from 68% to 65% or 64%. So those kind of intelligent responses are also shared with the student on each and every action. And this goes for multiple workflows. And this is feedback management. It has surveys and feedback. You can take multiple feedbacks about program, about instructor, summer internship, placement, and so on
Uh,
and so on.
Sorry to interrupt, Atish. I would request you to please wrap up because it's already 22 minutes. So,
Yeah, just a couple of minutes. I'm just wrapping up. This is document management. Students can upload the documents and download the documents. Scholarship, it is tightly integrated with the finance module of SAP, and the project registrations, the feedback mechanism, the visiting studies where student goes to exchange programs or inbound or outbound exchange, and then my assessments, results. Student can view the results. And then the clearance process, it's faculty assessments. Faculty can upload grades, generate a normalization curve, and this is a screen for faculty for uploading the grades or entering the grades. And then this is hostel management. It has end-to-end hostel management process. And then finally the NIRF and NAC reporting. So these are the kind of dashboards that will come out of SAP, and you can submit your compliance reporting. And this is where I conclude, and I'll just take 30 seconds. Yash has been awarded as Partner of the Year Award, Higher Education and Research in 2018, just for our tremendous efforts in this niche vertical. We have been spending a lot of time in not only developing applications for the sake of developing, but so that the user adoption and the user experience is tenfold increase with these applications. With this, I conclude my presentation. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to this email ID, info@yash.com. We are a group of very passionate people, and we'll be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much.
thank you, Atish, for this very insightful presentation, and thanks for walking us through the entire digital life cycle of things in campuses. I'm sure, as you have rightly said, that it's high time for the campuses to move digital path. So I think you have said it very right. So this was Aatish Shukla. He is a practice head, higher education research at YASH Technologies. Thank you so much, Atish, for joining us today. Stay tuned for
Thank you.
other. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.